Hello, and welcome to Bite Size PD. My name is Stephanie Howe, and I'm an instructional technology coach in Pickerington Local School District. And I'm excited to walk through this Bite Size PD idea. During this session, you're going to walk away with anywhere between 3 to maybe 5 to maybe 12 different resources, depending on how long I talk about these different activities and resources. So it's a fun session where you're going to learn, again, quick tips and tricks that you can use in your classroom right away. The first thing though is you are going to want to join this Google group. So right here, you're going to go to this web link and you are going to join the Google group. Once you join, you'll have access to all of the material. If you do not join, it's going to say that you don't have access to the material and you can watch and you can get resources. But if you want the templates, make sure you join this resource. And after the fact, you will also be added to this email group to get different tips, to get different resources. And it's kind of a personal learning network that is a great community for sharing. So please feel free to join this link and join the group to get all of the resources in today's session. So here is how we're going to kind of work today. You're going to review a choice board. Then you're going to vote for something that you want to learn a little bit more about. Then we're going to learn it, and then we're going to repeat. And we're going to repeat until time is up. After everything is up, this slide deck will be shared with you, and you are able to review everything on this slide deck. So again, you can go back and you're able to rewatch this session, or you can explore the resources and meet more detail after the session. So here is the Bite Size PD choice board. And you are going to use this Google form right here to vote on what you would like to see. So all of these activities that I will be talking about, or the order that I'll be talking about, is up to you. How many we talk about is going to be kind of up to you as well, with how much questions we have and how much time. So again, you're going to go in and you're going to kind of go, oh, work and reset sounds really interesting. And you're going to pick which one you are most interested in learning about. The top tip and tricks that we get are going to be talked about during the session. So we've got work and reset, thin slides, pile of words, design a coffee cup, exit tickets, note taking, number mania, retrieval wheel, worst presentation ever, classroom discussions, image battle royale, and coaching menus. All right, I'm just waiting for the results to come in on the Google form. Okay, and it looks like most people are interested in first learning about work and reset. So right here is work and reset. What happens with work and reset? It's a classroom management strategy that you can use with your students. And this classroom management strategy is great to use in the classroom. And what you do is you come up with 2 goals that you want your students to focus on. When I first did this, I was working with our behavior coach in the district, and I was like, oh, I want the students to do this. And it was like 5 different things. And she said, slow down, just pick 2 things. And as they master those 2 things, you change your focus to the other things that are on your list. So focus on first those 2 things that you really, really want to drill down and have your students work on those different activities. After I picked my 2 goals, so right here are my 2 goals, I wanted my students to raise their hand because when I was teaching or when we were doing a mini lesson, my students were speaking out. And I didn't want them to speak over me. So again, I wanted them to raise their hand when they had to speak. Another goal that we had is I wanted them to stay in their space. There was a lot of movement or extra movement into my classroom. And again, I just wanted them to focus on the activity at their seat and kind of cut that walking around movement that was happening in my classroom. Students got 1 warning. So students did get 1 warning if they broke any of these rules, but the second time they had to do something with me, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So that's the first thing, okay? The next thing is a timer. So I went over to YouTube and all I did was search a timer. So I just went in here and on my YouTube channel, Gold EDU, I have a playlist and it has a ton of different timers that are really cute and can be used in the classroom. So I just went in here and I just said, okay, I need a timer for 20 minutes. I want my students to work for a full 20 minutes before they get that break. So again, I just went in here, searched one of my 20-minute timers and added it right onto my slide. So I went to insert and I inserted it by adding a video. So now that I've got my expectations, I've got my warning on there and my timer. I then wanted to add some rewards. So if my students raised their hand to speak and they were in their space, they got a reward. So here were some of the rewards that my students could pick from. They could talk with friends. They could do tech time. And we came up with this together as a class. I've also done this with kindergarten students. And with kindergarten students, you might not have 10 choices. You might just have 3 or 2 choices. And you also might have dinosaur time. So whatever motivates those students. So again, I worked with my students to create this choice board of different activities that they could do for the 5 minutes if they met their expectations. After that, I had the timer going, and this one is just a 25-minute timer. So this is the same board, but just a longer timer. And after my students did that, I had about 5 students that that broke 2 of those rules multiple times. They went past the 1 warning. So you want to stay consistent with this activity. So because I had 5 students that broke it, my other students were able to go off and pick one of these activities for 5 minutes. So here's another timer that we use for the 5 minutes. The 5 students that did not follow those rules had to come meet with me. And so those students came and met with me, and we talked about a challenge that they had during that time. We talked about something that went really well during that time. We chatted about what could change. And I love this question here: how can I help? They saw me more as a team player, and I was there to support them on all of these different struggles that they might have when trying to be in my classroom. So we were really able to focus in on that question of how can I help you? Do you need more reminders? Do you need 2 chances instead of 1? And I was able to make that kind of setting with my students, and they were a part of that decision as well. And then the last question was, what can you try next time to meet the goal? So again, there are a bunch of different resources here for you kind of to use as a reflection. This reflection piece is huge because we did it again. So this time I made it 25 minutes. And my students that were with me didn't need that reflection time. They were able to correct their behavior the second round. So it was great. And honestly, everybody is on task during this time. They were working so hard. So this is a great resource to use when you need your students to focus. And yes, you're giving up 5 minutes, but really that's really small compared to the amount of work that they're able to get done in those 20 to 25 minutes. Another roadblock that I had was students transitioning back because I let them move seats. Coming back was very difficult transition. There's a lot of issues when it's transition time. And so what I did is I asked them to beat the timer. I set a 2-minute, 1-minute timer, and my students had to get back to their seats, work on their roadmap, and then focus on the 2 goals. And then we started over again. So it was really great that my students were able to go back to their seat and get started again on this activity. So work and reset is a great strategy that you can use in your classroom if you're just trying to get your students to really use their time well and to really focus on what they're doing. Okay, go back to that Google form and keep on voting. I'm waiting for those results to come back in. So again, we've got 1 we just did, but now you've got 2 through 12 as an option if you're interested in learning more. Okay, about 30 more seconds. Okay, the results are in, and it looks like number 11 is the winner. So let's look at number 11. Number 11 is Image Battle Royale. This is a fun one to do in your classroom. So Image Battle Royale, this is in a Google Draw. So Google Draw is kind of the platform for this. You would share this with 4 different students. So it's going to be like teams of 4, but they're against each other. And what you do is, this was created by Jonathan Spike. So his Twitter handle's up here if you're interested in following him. He has a ton of ideas on using games in the classroom. He's an amazing educator. And so what you're going to do is you're going to come up with like a topic. So what topic do you want students to use? This topic is really well if it's a vocab word or something upcoming in your unit, can be a really great topic that you might use. So for example, I might put in here 20 2020. Okay, everyone kind of remembers that 2020 year of school. And what students will do is they can add a GIF, they can add an image, and whoever has the best image by the class voting is the winner. So again, what you could do is you'll have 4 students that kind of play against each other. You could have another 4, and maybe every single player one is on a team. So if there's enough votes for team one, that team might win. So again, you're going to put the topic in, and then I might use Giphy, but students might use different ways to insert an image as well. And so if I look up 2020, I think of like a fire, like just a huge, huge, huge fire. Okay. And then I can add that right in here. And all these other players would add theirs as well. And then we would vote for who had the winning GIF or image. Okay, so again, it's a lot of fun just introducing a new topic or summarizing at the end of a unit whatever you're trying to learn, or reviewing vocab words. So again, lots of different ways that you can use this Google Draw of Image Battle Royale. So again, it's a quick, fun way that you're able to introduce a bunch of different topics in such a short amount of time. So that again is Image Battle Royale. All right, go back to that Google form and you're gonna vote again. Do you want number 1? Or wait, we've done 1 and we've done 11. So now we've got 2 through 10 and then number 12. So go ahead and vote for what you would like to see next during this bite-sized PD. In about 30 more seconds. All right, it looks like the retrieval wheel has won. So right here, number 8 is the retrieval wheel. This is a great quick activity as well. And just kind of like Image Battle Royale, this one is one that you can kind of use to retrieve information that your students have learned. So what they're going to do is students are going to be on teams. So you can split the teams up by 3 students, 4 students, 5 students. You could do pairs. You could do whatever kind of grouping you want, okay? But I would do a group, not individual, for this activity. What you're going to do behind the scenes as a teacher is you're going to go to this website, Wheel of Names, and you are going to add vocab words, topics, whatever you kind of want to add for your retrieval wheel, okay? And what's going to happen is students are going to spin your wheel. Whatever is chosen, they have to write as much information about that as they know about. The team that comes up with the most correct information wins the game. So again, students are going to spin that wheel. So let's go ahead and spin. And these are names, so it's going to be really difficult. Eric, maybe I write down every single Eric that I know, or what I know about Eric in history, okay? Coming up with those different things. The team, again, with the most facts on their paper, their whiteboard, their Jamboard, whatever you're using, is the winner and gets to kind of get some points, and then you could do another round of spinning. So again, fun activity for your students to retrieve different informations by using a wheel. So again, I like to use a Wheel of Names, but there are so many different wheels out there that you don't have to just use this website. You can use whatever website you are comfortable with. All right, we're ready to vote again. And again, that was Wheel of or Retrieval Wheel. Okay. So again, you're going to go to this Google form and you're going to vote for your next bite-sized PD. In about 20 more seconds, we've got some really good ones coming in. There is a tie right now, so hopefully someone is able to break that tie. Okay, we've got note-taking as the winner for number 6. Okay, so note-taking, this is just a kind of quick anchor chart idea. I first saw this idea on Twitter. So right here, you can see how to take successful notes. And what I did is I loved this idea because a lot of times I walk into classrooms and I see students not taking notes. When they're watching a video, they're not pausing. They're not just pausing to take notes. And so right here with this activity, it's walking through like, hey, taking notes is a really good strategy to use in the classroom. And so what you're going to do is there's 5 different kind of steps to help students remember how to take notes and why we kind of take notes. So the first one is they have to figure out what's going to be best for taking notes. Is it going to be best having 2 or 3 different columns where I type in those different notes? Maybe it is better if I have like a web graphic organizer where my students can go in and draw, or they can write really quick notes around this kind of web of the main idea and then these little supporting ideas. So again, they're going to decide what kind of notes is best. And sometimes maybe even sketch notes where students just quickly draw with a white piece of paper could be another option for students. Then on step 2, students are going to learn how to process taking kind of with their notes. They're going to come back to their notes. They're going to learn to underline, to highlight. They're going to learn if they need to define something, delete something, if they have additional questions or like, why did I write that? They're going to go in and just kind of process what they went through with their first draft of that note. Then number 3, they're going to try to connect different ideas. So maybe something happened in their real life or they saw on the news. They can make those different connections to add on to their notes that they already have. Step 4 is summarizing, and students can then kind of reflect on their learning. They're going to look at their notes and kind of summarize what they learned and really start to reflect on that knowledge that they just learned about. Step 5 is applying their learning. They're going to use their notes and they're going to use them for purpose. So maybe they're going to create a video with them. Maybe they're going to create a podcast based on their notes. Maybe they're going to use them for an upcoming activity or group work or something like that where the students will need their notes. So we got to find a reason for why they're going to use their notes. So again, it's just a quick walkthrough with students about just taking notes and reminding them to pause. And if they are watching a video, pause that video, slow it down, rewind. If it's live, you can still take notes as well. But just a great reminder for how to take successful notes. All right, we are going to go back to this Google form and you are going to vote again. And you're going to pick which option you are most looking forward to. About 10 more seconds to put in your vote. All right, it looks like number 2 is our winner with thin slides. So right here is thin slides. Thin slides is a great activity to use in the classroom. This can be great for like an exit ticket or an entrance ticket just to kind of see how students are doing. So what's going to happen is students have a blank slide. With that blank slide, they're going to put their name in the speaker notes. After they have their one slide, they're going to add one word and one image. Okay, so one slide, one word, one image. So if we look here, we have pivot, and we've got this nice little friends gift that's kind of happening here. You can kind of see this one. It's difficult. Okay, we got someone pushing a really heavy ball. This one says inspire. Okay, so again, students are going to grab their slide. They're going to add one word and one image to explain something. So for this word, I think it was about 2020. Okay, so so educators went in and they kind of picked their one word that they were able to come up with for 2020. So again, one word and one slide and one image. Okay, so that is a thin slide. And this is an Edu protocol. So Edu protocols are great strategies. They put more work on the students' end, and they're quick to use, and you can use them over and over and over again. So again, students will put their name in the speaker notes, and then they just have to find one word and one image. This works great for vocabulary. So if you have a vocab word, or Again, if you want them to summarize something that they read, or at the end of a chapter, or after the end of a unit, they're able to pick their one word and one image. After students have their one word and one image, they then have 5 minutes to create this. So you're going to set a timer. Sometimes you'll see students that will change the background. Sometimes you'll have students that get really creative or change the text. But what students are going to, again, do is they just have 5 minutes to do that. Once the timer is up, they then have 5 seconds to share. So what I do is I hit this slideshow button, and we just kind of keep on going. So we just keep going through the slides. When they show up, we pause, and then they talk about their slide really, really quickly, and we just continue on with the presentation. So again, it's quick, it's fast, it's quick for students to quickly say what they're learning, and they can share their justification to make their response even stronger. All right, let's try to fit one more in. So this is going to be our last one. So this is your last time to vote. So go ahead and vote for which one you want. We've talked about work and reset. We've talked about thin slides. We've talked about note taking. And we have also talked about image battle royale and retrieval wheel. So we've actually got through 5 within like 20 some minutes. So that's great. We're going to go ahead and we're going to keep on going with this last one. So again, about 10 more seconds until we are going to review that last strategy that you are going to learn to be able to take away and use in your classroom right away. Okay, and the results are in. And it looks like you guys want to talk about exit tickets. So right here, number 5 is the winner, exit tickets. And with this resource, it's a Google slide. I saw this idea on Twitter from TCEA. And TCAA had this like huge board of exit tickets, and they had some really, really great ideas on this choice board. And so what I did is I said, oh, I've got templates for all of these ideas, but not in one slide deck. So I put all of these different choices to kind of know together, or added additional examples, so that way they would be ready to go for students. So this choice board is more for teachers, okay? I would not give this to students to pick an exit ticket. I might give them something that looks like this, where it's like 3 choices, but giving them 9 different choices can sometimes be a lot. So what I've learned is less choice can be really powerful. So let's go ahead and kind of look through some of these exit ticket ideas. So record. Students could record a video using Flipgrid, a 30-second video maybe explaining what they learned today. So that could be one option if you're looking for ways to kind of spice up your exit tickets. Maybe try Flipgrid and have them just quickly record a 30-second video that they can kind of use. Auto draw. So what you might do is students will pick a topic. Okay, you're going to pick a topic. And every student will then go to this website, or if you make it a choice, and then they can draw whatever they're learning. It's kind of like a sketch note. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get a new piece of paper. This one with this little sparkles, it's called auto draw. So if you start drawing, it's going to come up with all of these icons up here, and they're like, oh, but did you mean to draw a fork or pitchfork? Or maybe you meant to draw a tree. Okay, so you can kind of see all of these different ideas popping up with your students, and then they can kind of design their canvas to help go over all of these different resources that your students might need. Okay, so again, right here is the canvas, and your students can create using auto draw. It's going to fix their drawings, and they can draw everything that comes to mind about a certain topic or vocabulary word or whatever you're learning. Tweet. Students can tweet about what they're learning. So right here is a template that I found, and students can come in and they're able to change this little person to maybe who they're tweeting about, and then they can write their 180 characters, I believe, message, and then they can also go down and add anything else that they might want to do, and then they're able to tweet out their response through that exit ticket. So again, just a quick summary that might be Twitter size is a great way to get students to use exit tickets. So for this activity, what students are going to do is there is a link right here. And students are going to filter, compose, and caption a photo that they're learning about. So you're going to give them some type of topic. And again, they're going to kind of pick an audience. They're going to pick what is going to be the focus, and then they're going to come up with their image. Once they have their image, they're going to explain how it's relevant, and they can then choose their audience as well down here. This template was created by Amanda Sandoval, so I highly suggest you follow her. She's a great follow. And again, you'll just kind of go in, and students are able to find a photo. They're able to add a caption and explain what's kind of happening in that photo to help you better understand what's going on. Emojis. Okay, so emojis can always be fun when it comes to learning. And so right here is an emoji exit ticket. And what students are going to do is they are going to come up with an emoji, okay, to explain what they're learning about. Then they're going to come up with 3 different sentences to explain what it kind of what it's referring to, whether they succeeded or maybe struggled with. And they're going to type that in this exit ticket template for you to review with them. Email is another great way. So students can just use their email. So they're going to maybe put as a subject exit ticket. And then in the email, they are going to explain why they're writing. And there's these sentence starters that can really help students drill down to the actual learning that they're learning about or problem that they might be having. And then the email comes straight to you. So it's going to say like, I'm writing because I've already tried. These are the steps I've already done to try this problem. I would like support by, and then they sign their email. So again, just a great idea for students if you want them to send you an email as an exit ticket. They can also create different poems or using different paper to create their acronyms or whatever they want to do with their poems. So again, just a fun another way. Songs can be a great way as well. So using this exit ticket song Google slide, students can come in and they're able to find a song, talk about the artist, and then reasons why they chose this song to kind of go with the topic that you're teaching. They're able to add those lyrics if they want to, and then they can add commenting if they want to as well. And then this last one on this idea is like an opinion. And what you can do with this Google slide is you have 2 different ends. Maybe they dislike or they like. Students are going to pick a side, and then they're going to provide your reasoning and evidence to explain why they like or dislike that certain topic. So again, great way for your students to kind of review their learning. And that was the exit ticket choice board. So we learned work and reset today. We talked about thin slides. We talked about exit tickets, note taking, the retrieval wheel, and image battle royale. Okay, so lots of different topics here. So it was a great time to learn and get a bunch of new resources that you can use in your in your classroom. So if you want more, this is where you can kind of find me. I have my own podcast with one of my coworkers, Tara Ruckman, and we talk about controlling the chaos. So that might be classroom management wise, executive functioning, or blended learning, or using engaging strategies to control that chaos that is in your classroom. Another way that you can find me is on Gold EDU. We have a website, and I also speak at different events too, so you can always find me there as well. But thank you so much for joining Bite Size PD. I hope you have gained a lot of different knowledge from this session and found one strategy that you can use in your classroom tomorrow. If you have, feel free to tweet out that strategy. You could do a screenshot of it and make sure you tag me at Mrs. Howe24. I love connecting with people, and the best way to connect with me is on Twitter. So if you have additional questions, please reach out on there, send me a DM, and I would be more than happy to connect. But I also want to see what strategies did you love during this quick session. Share them out on social media so that way we can celebrate together all of the great things that happened during the session. Cannot wait to see all of your exciting learning and ideas that you're ready to use tomorrow in your classroom. Thank you.